So I grew up in Riverside, Connecticut, and went to Fairfield Prep, and over it all had a very great childhood. We grew up with a golf club, we had a fishing boat, and 2 sisters and a brother, just the all-American family. Things started to get real for me when I started my career on the floor of the stock exchange down Wall Street. I had a 20-year career, I became a member and an owner. Things were great. When the bell would ring, we'd go right out, celebrate our day. And that's really when the drinking started to get very heavy. At worst, my drinking was as bad as it gets. At sometimes it was a shot before even getting on the train to go to work. I'd have a couple at lunch, a couple on the way home, a couple before I got home. Drinks after the wife went to bed. It was bad. It was bad. So sometime later, a perfect storm hit. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer. My mom had just passed away, and I had lost my job at the exchange. So I started drinking heavily. My identity, my 20 years of work on the floor, starting from the bottom, becoming a member, becoming an owner, everything I did, I walked out with a cardboard box about this big and went home. I was still taking care of my wife and my daughters, and things were still going, but I was hanging on by a thread. I continually drank. My mother-in-law came and was taking care of my wife. We didn't really get along that well, and I eventually ended up leaving the house, which ended up causing the demise of my marriage. And it also caused me to be living out in the street. And I was lost. But luckily I found a great therapist and AA, and that helped me through 9 years of sobriety. I was living with my dad at the time, trying to help him out. He's a big drinker. Most of life growing up was around drinking. And sure enough, sooner or later, I started drinking again. And within a couple of months, it was as bad as it's been. And eventually, things started getting bad enough where my dad asked me to leave, and I was back out on the street again. So I started actually attending Vox Church. The main reason was because it was Sunday, it was warm, and they gave away free coffee. So I was able to get that, and it killed a nice hour of time from being outside. But I ended up becoming very happy with it. Actually, I loved it. I met another gentleman, Wayne, who took me to a Bible study, and then he told me about Pivot. And I was ready for a change in my life. I didn't have a life, so I came to Pivot. So in the beginning, Pivot was rough. I hated every minute of it. It was a lot to take in, especially coming just from the street. But soon things started to change. I started to let God into my life. I started to understand more about the walk of Christ and what was going on. And I began to really thank Pivot in my mind. I mean, they gave you a place to stay, meals, clothes on my back. Anything I needed, Pivot was there to take care of it. I was able to visit a counselor to help you find where your anger is from or where your anxiety is from, how we can talk things through without going out and just grabbing a drink. The Bible studies and the Christian classes helped me learn more about the Bible, learn more about Christ, and help me through situations that I never would have thought of to use the Bible to help me through, I've also gotten other medical issues taken care of, all through Pivot. It's really amazing what they do with what they have. It's a spectacular thing. And I'm always going to have a special place in my heart for Pivot, even though it was difficult. Recovery is hard. Recovery is very, very hard. I knew I had the tools in my head. What I did not have, though, was the hand of Christ to walk with. I don't know what the future brings, but at least now I have a future. You know, as Pivot taught me that God has forgiven me, and I think it's about time I start to forgive myself. I look forward to moving into our transitional house, which is called Pembroke, and hopefully start to work full time and eventually get a place of my own near my girls and keep enjoying our life like I've never known it. So I look forward to the future, and I please hope that you will keep me in your prayers, keep my family in your prayers, and that all will be well. And I thank you all for coming.